off on her dirt bike, and she's about ready to go kill herself.
Action! We were dragging Kristen very carefully on a special trailer that had space to mount cameras and monitors to tell how the action was going. She sees hallucinations of Edward. So all of the woods around were marked with fluorescent orange tape so that Kristen would have a reference to go to. We were able to get it in 2 takes, which is kind of miraculous.
It was cool to be on the back of a motorcycle on the back of a car.
We are on to the visual effects portion of this shot.
Ready and action! It really is leading your hero actor up to a moment and then stopping the second that things start to get dangerous or exciting, and then calling for the stunts.
What we're working on right now is Bella losing it on the bike. So the trick to this one here is that we don't want it to be a big gag. Trying to make sure that she lands before she gets to the rock and bounces instead of just hitting the rock with her head.
Ready and action! You okay? Got a terrific hand. Let's check the gate on that.
You know what? I actually get to ride the dirt bike. I don't need the rig. I get to ride the thing. Something that was totally new was dirt bike riding. I'd never really done it before, so I had to go through a little bit of training. It's called faking like I know what to do with the dirt bike. I know nothing. I tried to look as comfortable and cool as possible on the bike. I got to zoom up and come to a skidding stop, throw the bike down. What, are you trying to get yourself killed? It was 38 degrees Fahrenheit, and I was shirtless, but hey, I'm a werewolf. 108 degrees.
Good morning. It's day 20 and things are just getting stranger. I'll be directing in a wetsuit. In a gesture of complete futility, but fellow feeling with the actors.
That was fun.
Water starts rushing in, so there's a long second of like...
We are shooting the elements of Bella having jumped off the cliff book and backing into a rock, which knocks her senseless for a bit.
Are you ready? Here we go.
To make the waves, we're using large bore pneumatic cylinders attached to paddles which flap and push water, and they create about a 1-foot chop.
I'm so bad with water, and that was what it would really feel like to be in a thrashing ocean. You have to be careful and like agile, oddly, even when you're trying to look reckless.
How was it? Awesome. Yeah?
To create the rogue wave, we have a dump tank, which is 2 sea cans on top of each other. We unload about 3,000 gallons of water in one shot.
It was like, here I am bobbing in the frame, and now I'm not. And then I got really sick, as you can probably hear in my voice. Yeah, I like stunt work. Kind of scary, though.
We're finally coming to basically the scene that kind of sets off the whole movie, which is really Edward breaking up with Bella. It's a very emotional scene. Both actors have really prepared, and so you really want to give them the space and the time to do their best emotional work.
We have to leave, folks.
Why? Anybody who's ever been broken up with or had their heart stepped on, ripped out of them, you question everything that you have based your whole life on. It's like, is anything real? Because nothing could be more real than this, and now I'm wrong.
Be like I never existed.
Don't.
Bye.
Good. Great. Very nice.
Cut the cut, thank you.
We chose a wonderful location, which is very beautiful, but rather swampy, and a breeding ground for mosquitoes.
I've never seen so many mosquitoes in my entire life, and giant ones as well. I could just tell when a mosquito just landed like on the end of my nose.
Sucking blood from the apparently bloodless Edward.
And like Kristen would just look at her face and know it was there and not be able to do anything about it, and they just did not stop landing on us.
Not only were there mosquitoes, we were also near the flight path of a couple of flying schools.
I'm coming.
I don't want to come.
Should we stop? Because that's a loud noise.
So you're dealing not only with very intimate emotional content, but knowing that you might get a moment that will be spoiled either by a mosquito or by a plane flying by. It's very hard, and you want eventually not to be cobbling together a series of takes, but to really have something that feels like it's organic and true to the moment in the book.
Let's do that.
You know, it's like the most traumatic scene in the whole thing. I guess that wasn't my favourite scene to film.
I wanted to have a fight sequence which wasn't as though we'd suddenly shift from this kind of very romantic film into an action movie, that it sort of made sense emotionally. It should really be more about Edward sacrificing himself and Bella being willing to die in his place.
Shall we, Jay?
Don't! Try it on me!
There's a moment when I'm able to read all of Edward's thoughts and feelings, that I get a hit of the intensity.
Her blood appeals to you so much. How can you stand to be so close to her?
That's the drive of this story, is that intensity.
It should be more about that than about how cool the fight scene is.
Alright, here we go.
He doesn't have a hope in hell of winning a fight.
Mostly it's Edward getting the crap kicked out of him.
3, 2, 1, action!
You bring him up into the sitting position, then you drag him back and up. We're trying to rejig the style of the fighting on this show to give us something different.
Final position.
Collaboration-wise, I think what we all tended to do was we would go our own separate way for a little bit and think about how we should do it.
JJ will essentially present ideas to me for different moves or incidents.
3, 2, 1, action.
Also just his sort of eyeballing the set and thinking, well, what can I break here? And talking to David Brisbane about what can be made to be breakable and replaceable.
That's when we got the really neat and creative moments.
Let's roll camera.
The trick to the fight is really in the time.
We're shooting it at 96 frames per second, also shooting Bella's reactions at 96 frames per second.
So we have both the human perspective on the fight and the vampire perspective on the fight. Mostly it's about trying to keep everything big and flowing and open so that when we speed up, it looks good.
Okay, guys? Let's sit down.
Which is fun though, I mean, it looks cool.
We can take all the wires, guys.
There we are.
This is our last day in beautiful Canada, which has been so kind to us. Everyone is a bit stir crazy, but and I couldn't be happier with the footage we're getting. So things are good.
We are towards the end of the movie. Jacob's coming back to beg Bella to not allow her to go to Italy. So here we go. Let's go get the job done.
There's a moment of near miss between Jacob and Bella.
All right, here we go. Last shot in Vancouver.
And action.
Yes, we do. Bella. Coconut outlay. Swan residence. He's not here right now. He's arranging a funeral.
Cut. Good. We are cut. Checking the gate. Checking the gate. Yeah. Waiting for the clear gates.
Waiting for the clear gates.
Gates clean.
That is a camera wrap. It's a camera wrap, everybody.